This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, of course, we've got a protein review coming up. We also ask, Daniel, what is the best exercise for fat loss? And we discuss Ask the Grass or Parallel, really. Also, we go into a bit of a deep dive about pro sport versus gen pop careers, and we'll probably do a bit of a longer show on that at some point.
Right. 3, 2, 1. No guest this week, Daniel. What's going on?
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, Tomo. What's going on?
What do you mean, mate? I'm a guest. I'm always a guest.
You just turn up, mate. Just
I'm
like
a guest all the
turn
time. You do all the hard work.
On,
Yeah.
Dan was complaining that I'm sorry, guys, that I didn't put like the hundreds of millions of messages that I got that the podcast wasn't up in time. I mean, they were literally coming in their ones and twos. Because obviously we record Thursday, and then guess what? I'm actually working during lockdown. I mean, world's smallest violin. Yeah. We need a little soundboard, mate. That could be your job. You can
edit it in, mate. That could be your job. You don't do anything. Edit it in. Hey, come on.
Jesus Christ.
Last thing you want to do is watch this back again.
I don't want to watch this again. Gee. Yeah, sorry it came. I basically left it till like the Sunday because I think we talked about it extensively. We are currently filming quite a lot of content with Mr. Gordon Greenhorn and our merry band, Luke, Joe, Patrick, the other couple of models. Off the top of my head, I can't remember their names. I'm incredibly sorry.
So rude, Tom.
I know, sorry. But yeah, apologies. I was tired. I
went to share it to my story. I had a bit of content written out, ready to go for it, and then no, it wasn't there. I was like, I have to wait.
I was tired.
I wasn't fitted in with anything I've talked about on my stories or my posts, so I've just been like, I'll leave it off. But maybe I'll do something about it tomorrow. But
I was tired.
It's a weird one though. I think with just on that, like with content, I know we talked about obviously in depth with content last week and stuff like that. But like, I have to say, it's one of those things that it's okay to have peaks and troughs in it. I think sometimes I don't want people to ever get caught up in the whole like you have to post every day all the time, all that sort of stuff. I know some people listening will be people who post content and stuff, and I'm genuinely one of these people who I have to have a brainwave or some sort of creativity or desire to post. I think I can't just create content out of thin air and just post it. I think if it comes across that I'm bored of it and not interested in it, it's not going to come across very well on Instagram, whatever. I'd much rather focus on quality over quantity. And I think Gordon's the same. I know from seeing his Instagram recently. Yeah. But yeah, recently we've been like you just said there, when you're really busy with work, and you kind of like the whole reason you post content is to get more work. Usually that's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
And like when you're really busy with client work and you're really busy with stuff, it kind of takes a bit of a back seat, and that's okay. And I just think it's important that sometimes people don't get lost in the rat race of trying to post content. We were talking about it just before we came on air. People are just constantly looking for more likes, more views, more this, more that, viral video. And it's like, if you're busy working with clients, you don't need a viral video because you're busy working with clients. Like it's one of those things I think people seem to forget that should always come first. And if you don't post a bit of content one day because you've had an 8 till 5 day working online with clients, that's okay. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like you have to post something. It's really obvious when people just post something for the sake of it. I think anyway, to me it is. And if there's people that are posting twice a day, twice a day, how busy are they? They're either not that busy or they're that point where they're that busy that they're paying someone else to do it for them. I'll tell you that now. Like they're the two things you have to think about. So yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd just mention that because I feel like at the moment I post like on my grid anyway once every 2 or 3 days maybe rather than every day. And then on my stories recently, I've just been real quiet because I'm just not really I'm not seeing anything that's pissed me off that much. So I kind of don't really talk about anything. I've been sharing bits and like funny bits and stuff, but I haven't really been on there and been like, oh, so hey guys, here's a real cool hunger hack for you. Because I just haven't been thinking about that sort of stuff recently.
Here's a real cool hunger hack. You've never done that. Gee, here's a real cool hunger hack.
But you know what I mean? That whole thing people do on their stories.
Get your fridge door closed. That's your hunger hack today. It would just be sarcasm, and that's about it.
Yeah. It's also funny how as well, like we were talking before about how your content does sort of mature as well, and it changes. So like now my content, I don't really post like, oh yeah, hunger hacks or like protein sources, because it's not really where my clients are at. I just post a bit more about results and I like to think some funny shit, but that's kind of where it's at right
As long as
now.
it makes you laugh, mate, there's got to be someone else that's got the same humour.
There's got to be someone else that's got no sense of humour, that's boring like me, surely. So yeah, it's funny.
It is funny, mate. But yeah, you have a good week. You have a good week. I mean, so it was only Thursday since I spoke to you, so that was because of
I took kind of like
Dan was so tired after that GG podcast. He didn't even stick around for a little chat afterwards. He was just like, see you later. And to be fair, I was seeing I was with Gordon at 8 a.m. the next day, so I was just like, see you later, mate. I'm not sort of speaking to that Scottish accent anymore.
Everyone needs to be off. But, so I had the house move last not this weekend, just gone the weekend before. I had the house move, so this weekend I literally was just like, I took a bit of time off because I just needed it. And on Sunday I'm not very good at taking time off. I sat there on the sofa and like I was watching bits and bobs on TV, and then every so often I'd be like, right, I can do that now, I can do that, and I'm not very good at just sitting down doing nothing at all, really. So kind of did bits and bobs, but then I felt better this week, so did a bit of content today and did some ideas or some emails. Again, I've not been sending emails recently either, which is a bit of a pain, but because I do miss doing that. But again, you have to have time and you have to have headspace and a passionate topic to talk about, and I just didn't really, because I think because of the move and everything, it's just taking its toll. But so I've been trying to catch up a bit of sleep.
Such a grand job. Like, if I wouldn't know anything better, bear in mind Dan's moved like about 2 doors down. It looked like in the same place.
Exactly. There you go. That's the beauty of it. It's literally looks the same, because it's a fairly new build with the same doors and the same white walls. So we're all good.
It's weird when you go into like what is a new build. So I've been to one of my clients' houses previously, so pre-COVID, and I was like, I know these doors. I was like, this is my old flat. I was like, these doors, the exact same doors on a build that was new, like way back when. I was like, these are really heavy doors. They're like, yeah, great. I was like, they're really heavy.
Fire doors, probably.
Probably. How they move around. But yeah, good week. We're day 2. We've recorded 2 full days of PTC Core working title. If anybody wants to tell us what the actual title is going to be, we're kind of pitching around with that, because PT Core, we kind of like don't really know what that means. All the competitors seems to be like PT Advanced, Level 4, PT this, and we're like, I don't know what to call it. We're just like,
call it Level 28 or something.
Just call it the course you should fucking do after your Level 3. Basically, it's like, if you want to, if you don't want to be in the 90% of the statistics, do this one. That's being out of the industry, but it's not quite as catchy title. We just call it the 10%. 10% or in there, or
you could call it like the plus 19k gang or something like that. You know? Something real catchy,
that'd be it. We just call it 6-figure Fit Pro automatic.
That'll work. Mate, based on most PTs nowadays, mate, you could call it 5-figure Fit Pro. Fucking hell. The way some PTs are these days, mate. It's funny. Yeah, it's an interesting one. We've had quite a few questions in like the mentoring group, me and Mike, about stuff, and people are just really, I suppose, not scared. I know they are scared. I think they're scared of putting their own personal twist on things. And I think that's what separates people who know in that level of PT, and is that they just do like 3 sets of 10. I got a new client started again not that long ago, and he sent me through his old plan, and it was literally 3 sets of 10 on everything. I was just like, are we still really at this point? Like, and I just think people need to think for themselves and just be brave and just put your own spin on shit. Like, I just feel like when you read someone's posts, like when you read my posts, you probably read it in my voice, so it'd probably be easier to kind of get what I'm trying to say.
I read your posts.
Not you don't read my posts. You don't read them. No. I mean, people listening. I think people are so afraid to like use their own like language or what they would say or their own thoughts or viewpoints. They just want to put the facts in or the science or whatever it is. And they're just almost too afraid to give their opinion. And it's like every single person that you follow that's big in the industry gives their opinion. Whether it's right or wrong, look at Joel Seedman, completely batshit crazy, gives his opinion, but people like it.
I'm It just annoys me. With him, I mean, people must be following him right now. We talked about it. He's been like the theme. There's always one like Fit Pro celeb I swear we kind of fixate on every 6 months that we're like, look at this guy. Remember way back when we had like functional patterns?
Fictional patterns.
It popped up on my like Facebook how I made a post about something about him. You were talking about this 4 years ago. I was like, fuck me, is he still a thing? Jesus Christ.
I was about to say, I haven't seen that guy for ages. I haven't seen any of his stuff.
I think he's mainly on Facebook. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook apart from in these little groups that I kind of have to talk about. You know? But yeah, I don't know if it's a thing. Functional patterns, look it up. So it's interesting talking about like that 3 sets of 10 kind of thing. So obviously we've got the supportive learning group that's going through their level 2s and their level 3s right now, and idiots that it's slightly painful. So obviously I took the tutor group this week, and there's a couple of things that I had to talk about. And this kid, the name V-Shred kept on coming up in the chat. V-Shred. I'm sure you know who that is, don't you? From that, what do you think we were talking about?
Body typing.
Yeah, somatotypes. And and I was like, FYI guys, you can be any one of these you kind of like, because obviously I used the example that's in the book. It was like, what is somebody who is more predisposed to fat and is really good at the shot put and the hammer throw? I was like, why are endomorphs really good at shot put and hammer throw? I was like, you mesomorphs can be excellent. I would probably categorically say mesomorphs are really good at shot put and hammer throw. There's plenty of what is factoring endomorphs that have no athletic ability whatsoever. And guess what? If they've got quite a small frame, they could probably shift that ton and be ectomorph. It's the long, skinny one. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Like, I guess I'm classed as an ecto, I believe.
Yeah,
on my skinny.
I don't know what I'd be classed as.
In between ecto and meso, I think, or
you're probably fine. Yeah, I'd probably be like its own new one that no one's ever heard of before.
Average, basically. I'm just average of all three.
He's a moron, that guy. But it comes back. Comes back to the same thing though. If you talk passionately enough about something, people will believe it, and that's just good sales and marketing. And this is the problem: is that a lot of PTs, we've had it in the mentoring group, but I know a lot of PTs and coaches. They look at people like that and they go, "Oh yeah, look at them selling the lies and all this sort of stuff." I was like, "Yeah, but they're selling it. You're not. You're not selling anything. You're just posting content and hope people come and ask you for PT. You've got to sell to people. You do it in your way, and you can do it in the right way. But ultimately, these guys are selling to people. They're doing the sales. They're doing the marketing. And PTs and online coaches need to look at what all these people are doing and take the good bits from it and use it for themselves. You can't sit there and moan because they're putting themselves out there. Yeah, okay, you might not be able to afford to put out YouTube ads, but you can be more passionate about how you say stuff, and you can start selling and saying, look, I can help you do this. I can help you achieve this. People just think that they can throw up a transformation and people are going to flock to them. So that's not how it works. You've got to touch on pain points. You've got to dive deep into that person and sell to them in the right way, in your way. And that's what these people do. They sell to them. They sell them the shit. They sell shit in a can. Of course they do. But they keep doing it, and they've got the budget to then put adverts on and stuff like that. And I think if you're one of those people that sits there looking at those people going, oh, look at them, they're big, they're selling shit. Look at what they're doing well. They're making it sound exciting for a start.
Yeah,
so start doing that. I
like the Kino body. It's a cool one. Go look at. He's like, oh, look at this car. Look at this house I've rented today as well. I'm like, you don't do that, mate, do you?
He probably does now. To be fair, he probably does now. To be fair, but it's just that whole thing of like people, personal trainers. Everyone needs to understand that when you're selling PT, people want it to be exciting. They don't want you to be like, so we're going to spend 12 months just repatterning your squat movement. No one wants to fucking hear that. They don't. They want to hear how they're going to get ripped legs, how they're going to feel great, and they're going to lose body fat, whether you like it or not.
Ripped legs?
Whatever. Do you know what I mean? Whatever.
Who's wanting that?
But it's like when we talk about with clients, why do they come back to you when they train with you? Because it's a good experience. It's not because you give them 3 sets of 10 on back squat. It's not. How
dare you suggest I give back squats to people?
Well, yeah, exactly. But not off on a tangent. But it's not because of your expert programming. That's my point. Is it's not because of
how
the
dare
numbers
you,
and
Daniel?
the
How dare you?
week.
That's literally it. That's literally it.
Blasphemy. But this is the thing. But so many PTs and online coaches just do more qualifications in further education and more science and more biomechanics and more this. And it's like there's a certain amount of that you need. After that point, go learn how to do sales. Go learn how to do marketing. Because that's the bit that everyone else you're talking about is really good at, and they're making shitloads of money and they're doing really well, and they're marketing shit.
Move on, Dan. It's boring. All right, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. So little rundown of the show. Obviously, we're going to do a protein review. Daniel, have you got any protein bars near you in the vicinity?
Yeah, they're all
you have.
mate.
Perfect. Good. Dan is going to answer the question that's on everybody's lips. What is the best exercise for fat loss? So skip forward if you don't want to hear protein review, but he will answer that question. Okay, he will.
I will.
Every avenue. He's going to do a little bit of research. He's typed away at it. He's got a little bit of a research review, I believe, that he's just done. He's published it. He sent it to me for what it would be a little bit of critical analysis, and it's also peer reviewed because I'm his peer. So that should be good.
Yeah.
What is best exercise for fat loss? Hold on to your hats, guys. Then we have we're going to briefly touch on, because I feel like we basically, but what happens before the show, if anybody's new to listen, like what's going on? Me and Dan generally chat and find out, because we're friends, believe it or not. We find out what each other's been doing for the last week, and then what annoys us throughout the week, and then we start to talk about the podcast. So we're going to talk about something that it cropped up in my protein group that I'm lucky enough to be in, just to kind of act as a guiding light. I like to think of myself. I think when I speak, just everybody listens, or they kind of ignore. And down. I wouldn't like it if it was on Reddit, because it would just get downvoted the whole time. All my comments.
Yeah, I wish it kind of was now.
I wish we did have that on Facebook, to be honest, on groups. Which is hence, but we decided not to use Facebook for our new groupie stuff for PTC. Vetoed that, my friends. We're going to use something else exciting, because
we've stopped using it as well. We did it for our mentoring stuff. We don't use it because it just
we don't
lost
use
in
it. PTC collective members, supportive group members, get ready for Discord. Go and have a little hunt. Obviously, you use Slack, right?
Yeah,
you're a Slack man, because Dan's more corporate. We're more gamer, aren't we? So we're cool. We're down with
there's probably not as many people as well. Like,
so
it's probably a bit easier with 40 people than it is 400 or whatever.
So we'll separate channels and stuff like that. I use Discord quite a lot, so it's more a gamer. It's kind of cool. So and then we're going to talk a little bit into our careers, Dan, because it just kind of wound us up, because I got asked by Alec today about what was formerly the ISSN diploma is now the IOP, I don't know, bullshit nutrition thing. I was like, would this be good to as a nutrition course? I was like, it's a cracking nutrition course. If you want to work with 0.2% of the population, then crack on, my friend. But if you don't, then probably not worth the $3,000. Also, the prerequisite of having a bachelor's degree to get on it. So that's $27,000. So $30,000 to do that. Crack on. Probably just do a bachelor's degree in nutrition. Cheaper. And then go do that at some point. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that later. Why not? Both me and Dan both have further degrees, so we can't really say anything like that. Mate. So we'll go through that. We were going to talk about some other stuff, but I feel like we've been rambling for about half an hour already, mate. But yeah, protein bars. I'll let you select, actually. So we've got
different ones now, haven't we?
We're not going to go in protein pantry. It seems a bit ridiculous. So
yeah,
I've still got some protein pantry stuff. I have had the birthday cake. Whilst I haven't tried the marshmallow thing yet, which I will do at some point.
Why don't you just try that instead? Why don't we just do that instead of? Well, I think they need to be tried, because that's important information. Because no one's going to buy this one, are they? This Mountain Joe's protein flapjack.
Well, you got to try it. You got to.
I'll try it. Yeah, but I think you should try the protein pantry one, because I haven't got the replica of that. So you should.
So we'll do 1-on-1, yeah. So we'll do.
Right, I've got
do that one.
I've got a Mountain Joe's protein flapjack. I don't know if you can see that because the light's not really on it. There we go. Never seen these before in my life. Sticky toffee flavour.
That was the point.
It's got 266 calories and 11.7 grams of protein. So very poor choice for a protein bar. A lot of the time with protein flapjacks, they are designed that way, where it's kind of like a bit of a. It's supposed to be the flapjack with an extra bit of protein in it, but it's just never a good idea, is it? It's never a good idea. Right, let me...
All right, you're going to go into that. I've actually got to research on proteinpantry.com because I'm going to have their marshmallow. I'm still annoyed because I can't get the buttercups yet. Hello, Daniel. As we record this show, the hazelnut buttercups are in stock. So that's getting bought in the middle of this show. Jaffa cake. I kind of went off the Jaffa cake once. Cherry Bakewell. I've not had that one. I'm just buying online, going straight through this. I'm gonna come in and out of this, and I'll just reserve my spaces with some buttercups and stuff.
The Mountain Joe's is bang average, completely well and truly bang average, as we expected it to be. Personally, wouldn't bother. It's all right, but there's nothing special about it. I'm surprised we're even still in business, to be honest. I just had to check if you could even still get them, because I can't believe that. I mean, Our Story, Protein Millionaire, Protein Brownies, they do quite a lot. I just don't get the protein flapjack thing. I don't get it. It's not a protein bar. If I wanted a flapjack, I'd just get a better tasting flapjack with a protein shake. That's just how you would do it. I don't understand why you would do it any other way, to be honest. So that's annoyed me. Like, it's edible and I'll probably finish it, only because I don't like wasting food. It's not any other reason. I just don't like wasting food. So, yeah.
Okay, so slightly annoyingly, I'm going to try this chocolate marshmallow thing from Protein Pantry. I went on their website.
They look good.
They don't sell them anymore.
Oh, that's annoying.
So they're not on there. So this is a podcast exclusive. I feel like I need a spoon.
You felt you need a spoon?
It's like, it's in a little tub, so you can see that.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's almost a bit like they've tried to make like one of those Tunnock's tea cake things.
Yeah, so it feels like I should have a spoon to get this out, but I'm sorry for the audio show, but what audio show? Both shows, the video and audio, have this.
So what was the whole point of it was? It's like it's got like the biscuit, the jam, and then the marshmallow. Yeah, like a tea cake. So those of you that know Tunnock's tea cake, Tunnock tea cakes.
Tunnock's teas cakes.
I can't even say it properly.
Daniel, lovely.
You know what I mean. Same thing.
So I'm sorry, I can't really say the macros of this. So Dan, talk about your tea cake.
Oh, I don't know what the macros are. I don't know what they are. But yeah, anyway,
right. I can't find them on the
website.
Okay,
sorry. My bad. Yeah, so they look like they're really good. I wonder if the protein there must be in the can't be in the marshmallow bit. It must be in the biscuit bit, because you wouldn't be able to do that, I assume. But literally, as we speak, I'm just ordering some more Protein Pantry. I've got 2 cherry bakewells, 2 birthday cakes, and 2 of the hazelnut protein cups. So we'll see when they turn up. So hopefully by next week we'll have. We've also got a special guest protein bar as well, which we will. We will release next week. Huh? We're not doing that today. No. We've got to wait until Tom's turn up. But we have got, as I said, some secret ones that someone has made for us, which we'll be reviewing very, very soon.
I think is, heavily. I'd love that. If everybody wants to make us protein bars, then
hey, basically, one of my clients has kindly given us. I won't reveal the name or anything until we've tried them, until we review them properly. I need to get her to make an Instagram page for them, so that when we shout them out, it goes crazy, and she gets about 10 followers. But yeah, I will release that nearer the time. But all I will say is one of them is white chocolate and Biscoff. That's all I'm going to say.
Also, what I will say is I just got a random text from Dan pre-show. It was like, have you had any protein bars sent through by this person? I was like, who the hell's that? I was like, no. I was like, thanks for giving my address out to what is basically to me a random stranger. Good.
She's random stranger to me as well, so it's fine.
I mean,
don't worry about
it. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why I always feel like
it's all right, mate.
when you're on a show, like, or like the comedians, people bring them stuff, and they're always like, "Thanks for the cake." And they walk off. They're like, "I'm not eating that. Like, you're clearly insane." So yeah, you can tell he's like that. So this is inside the.
Oh yeah, I can't really see it.
Marshmallowy bits. Yeah, I'm probably.
What are we saying?
With the thing, it's nice. It's good. So it's like it's got jam in it. It's got some jam. I'm not too
jam
sure.
In it.
Yeah, jam in it.
Jam in it.
It's got like the marshmallow. It's not like an actual marshmallow. I feel like it's just like it's not even like a tea cake marshmallow. It's definitely more moist. If I hope people are very adverse to that word. I like
that word, moist. It's very descriptive. Moist. Everyone knows what moist is.
Exactly. And if
whether people like it or not, it doesn't matter.
She can't stand me using the word moist. So,
moist.
Yeah, crack on. Moist. Yeah.
What is wrong with things are moist? Like everyone knows what that is. I don't understand.
You can kind of picture it and kind of feel it as well. You know, like
you can feel that. You know that feeling of being moist.
And as soon as you say moist, and probably as we say it during the show, people's mouths are salivating as well. That's what happens because they become moist.
Moist. Moist.
Yes. Oh. So I like it. It's good.
I'll tell you what, one word that I would very rarely use to describe a protein bar is moist as well. So if it is moist, that is good.
Yeah. It's moist and sticky. So, I mean,
mate, even better. Even better, moist and sticky. Because do you know what? This protein flapjack is anything but moist. So
interesting.
I don't get protein flapjacks, like I was saying before. I don't get them. 12 grams of protein. What is the fucking point to ruin the flapjack taste by trying to add protein to it? It's like, I don't get it. I just don't.
So
sticky toffee pudding.
So it's pouring it. So yeah, the marshmallow has like chocolate casing around it, marshmallow inside, almost like a doughy texture as well. That's sticky and like some jam and some marshmallow. It is lovely. It's quite nice. That's a good little treat. That. Again, sorry, I don't know the macros because they're not on the website anymore. I would like to see Protein Pantry upgrade their website slightly. It's not the load more. Just as an FYI, Protein Pantry, the load more button is probably losing you sales in terms of when you can't list all the protein bars on your phone. Just as a bit of a consumer advice, as we do this on our website as well, because we have to have everything. It's like bam, it's there in front of you. The load more thing screwed me up. I didn't order as much as I would have because I was like, oh, that's all they have. I didn't even click on it. And because obviously it takes you straight to the checkout on that website. Once you click add to cart on your phone, it takes you straight to the checkout. So I don't even get to go back to what's going on. So yeah, just a little bit of a hiccup. I'm sure they're doing incredibly well. Basically just based off.
I've just realized as well, I've just seen on their website that there's some specific companies that sell Protein Pantry that they get exclusive protein bars for. I didn't even know that.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Well, I need to go on them now because one of them is Biscoff Crumble.
I know, no, yeah.
And then the other one is Seriously Cinnabon. What? Hang on a minute. Why are they not on the main website? Why would that not be?
All right, so we got some digging to do, but at the end of protein review, I think that's a solid. I'm gonna give that an 8 to 8.5. I think I like that.
8
on that, and then you're giving what? I prefer.
Oh, that's not even a 4.
I prefer that.
Not even a 4.
I prefer that to the Jaffa Cake one.
Not even a 4. That
not even
one,
a 4.
Protein Flapjack.
Also, I tried the birthday cake middle of the week because obviously Gigi reviewed that for us. It is lovely, literally a birthday cake. Literally, if you gave me a birthday cake of that protein bar, good. Like it. All right, mate. Yeah, so I'm gonna be.
What a stupid supplement! This supplement stop. You have to send them your order by DM. Ridiculous.
That's awful. That. I mean, one of our things. Obviously, we know this, Daniel. Is click. How many clicks does it take to purchase? And what is it? If it takes more than 3, probably losing the customer. Every single time you create a click to barrier. people realize this. Click to barrier. That's what's annoying sometimes about the link tree and stuff like that. You like have to click on the link tree, then you click on that, and then you click through there. The chances are you're losing people as soon as you click. We do it on Amazon. That's why Amazon is so good. Swipe to purchase, and it's done.
Yeah, they also do the one click. There's a reason they do one click purchasing, where you set up your thing and it's all your address and everything is done. Yeah.
And it's just like bingo. If you have to enter in, like, chances are if I'm entering in my thing and it's not on my card, like my Apple Pay thing, probably not buying it. As lazy as we are. But yeah,
especially things like that with protein bars and stuff like that. It's
protein bars, yeah. So our thing for Protein Pantry, because we love your bars and we want you to sell them and be a little bit more everywhere. But yeah, sort out the scrolling for load more and have more on the screen for your phone website. I think would be what I would advise, because I'm a person that buys I think I almost exclusively buy stuff on my phone when I'm purchasing online. I brought my new MacBook on my phone.
Yeah, I don't. I do a bit of both. I suppose I've got a desktop though, so on my computer.
Yeah, you've got a desktop computer.
But
and generally,
I still always
on my laptop,
my phone, my internet on my phone is full of tabs though of things that I want. Like, do you know? And I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I get that. Yeah.
I think I actually reached the limit of tabs on my phone, and it told me to. It told me to get rid of them. It was like, "Do you want to close all?" I was like, "Yes, I do." Yes. It was something barbaric, the number, because obviously you click on it, you just press the plus button, and then it's just like streams of stuff, and then like every now and again I'd go through, delete it, and like close stuff, and it's like you already have it open.
Couldn't hack that. You're like one of those people that's got their inbox at 40,000 unread.
No, I don't do that anymore because that annoys me now. But but I don't like tabs on the laptop. Like I don't like it on the top.
Because you can't see them on your phone.
Because
you can't see them on your phone.
Yeah, you can't see them. You're like, oh, there's something there. It's fine. All right, moving on. So, Dan, we've given you time to think. What is the best exercise? The best exercise for fat loss.
It's obviously swimming, Tom. Everyone knows that. Swimming, isn't it? Swimming, apparently. No, I'm joking. Basically, I saw this question the other day, and it really pisses me off. It's like, so I came up with the exact same question, but in a different space. It's like someone saying, which banknote makes you the richest? Which one? £20 note, £50 note, £10 note, £5 note. £50 note makes you the richest, doesn't it? What if you had 100 million £20 notes, but only 20 £50 notes? Exactly. It's just so nonsensical to say which exercise is best for fat loss or weight loss. It doesn't even come into the equation. You don't even need to exercise to lose weight. So what doesn't matter? And it's possibly the most asked question that I see in people's Instagram. So now when I do these questions, I don't really do question boxes anymore, because basically when I put them up, people just take the piss at me, which I'm cool with. I'm absolutely fine with that. But sometimes people do them to try and get like content ideas and stuff. So now what I did, I just follow someone like James Smith and just see what question boxes he puts up. And someone asked that the other day, and I was just like, in this day and age, people are just asking that question. And people forget, like, you can lose weight lying in bed doing nothing. You can lose weight lying in bed doing nothing. Not even just weight, body fat, like actual body fat. And people just seem to be so confused by this. And it's like been drilled into them that they have to do exercise to lose weight. You really don't. You don't have to at all. So just remember, whenever you think to yourself, what exercise is best for weight loss, just ask yourself that question: what banknote is going to make me the richest? The answer will be, depends on how many of them you have, right? And then also depends on your definition of rich as well. Because to some people, it will be different. So to me, running a marathon once a week, right, would be hell on earth. To an ultra endurance marathon runner, it would be fucking easy. So it all depends on the amount of exercise you currently do as to how much you might need to do to lose weight, or all those sorts of things. Your amount of calories you need to lose weight is going to be entirely dependent on you as an individual and will not be the same for everyone else. So just remember that. They're the things. Like the amount of exercise, the amount of calories you need to take in is like how rich you define rich to be. And then the banknotes is just, well, it depends on how many of them you got. Exactly. It depends on how much you eat. Depends on how much training you do. End of discussion. Stop asking that question. It's annoying. And if you want to use that little analogy, just tag me in it. If you do use it on social media, just tag me. It's always nice. I see it anyway, even if you don't. So, because people send it to me and go, "Oh, look at so-and-so copying you." No, I'm joking. But no, it's like those analogies are useful, like, because people understand that analogy. They don't understand it when you go, well, it's all down to calorie balance and it's all down to, you know, how much your expenditure and your neat on a day. People don't get that. They don't know that. They don't want to know that. Speak to them in their language. A lot of people know about money. So just say to them about money and go, which banknote makes the rich? They're going to look at you and go, what the fuck are you on about? You're crazy. And I'm like, yes, it's exactly the same question you've just asked me, only in terms that you understand. And then when you can explain, they go, well, it depends. And you go, exactly. And they go, it depends on what? How many of them you've got, right? Exactly that question. Exactly the same thing. Say it back to them. It's exactly the same with weight loss and how much you eat and all that sort of stuff, calories. Anyway, that's it. That's all I wanted to say on the matter. But yeah. Winds me up.
It's interesting.
Just winds me up.
We're just getting bitter in our old age now. All these questions.
Yeah, we are, but I just think we get it a lot as PTs. Like, again, you see it, a lot of people go, "Oh, we're going to do a little like calorie burn at the end of the session." Why? It's not a calorie burn. It's for health. It's for cardiovascular health. Like, you exercise for all the health benefits.
What were we doing for the last 45 minutes?
Yeah.
No, we weren't burning calories then. Oh, right, okay, cool.
Yeah, it just baffles me. It's like you burn calories doing a fucking podcast. Like, oh, how many podcasts I have to do to lose weight? Like, what? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just find it frustrating. And I think people get sold all the lies by people about exercise, what the best one is to lose weight. Hit, list, neither. Do none of them. You can still lose weight. Easy.
Do the one you like. Life's too short.
That's it. It's you see people putting themselves through hell with exercise because they've heard it's best to lose fat, and then they're not even looking at what they eat, and you're like, oh, stop wasting your fucking time. That's
anyway. Literally why I'm doing like the sprinting and the running stuff at the moment. Like, I keep posting about that because I quite enjoy sprinting, and because I know it's like slightly beneficial for my lifting as well, more so than just going for a boring fucking 5K run. I could not be like just doing that mundane whatever. Like, I put my little program up and some people will be like, oh, that's a bit complicated, isn't it? But it's not really that complicated, but I'm probably doing the same amount of steps, same amount of calorie burn, but I'm just getting a different benefit, a different kind of energy system from it. Because I don't care about running 5K. I never will. Like, I did it, what was it, doing that triathlon thing? I know I can do it, so that's fine. That's all I need to know. Yeah, mate. Speaking of that, I was going to move on to, so it's more like the fat lossy, nutritionally annoying question that you get asked. This wasn't an annoying question. It was just I guess if rugby strength coach was going to have that in his little thing, it'd be like, that's a dumb question, I'm not answering it. Which is probably this one as well. It's always an old age. There's stuff that recurs around the fitness industry, isn't it? Okay, and it's probably for trainers probably listen to this, it's great content. Or people who just want content, just post about this, because guess what? The average Joe wants to know this crap. And I think where we've got to the level where like, oh, we've got to keep talking about it. Also, Dan's not trying to post to get clients, so that's one of the issues. We just get you back in that mind. We need to take some of Dan's clients, so he has to post some of this stuff, essentially.
Yeah. I'll still get annoyed about it. Don't worry, I'll post about it in a bit when I've got the energy.
So this was the question in the group. It's actually quite a fun group, to be fair. There are some moronic stuff that gets taught and talked about, and it's like, if anything, it's kind of like UK PT's light, I'd like to refer to it as. And my pro team won't care about me saying that. I'm there as a helping hand. They can listen to this show. So it's I don't think this was a debate by Clint. Obviously, I'd like tagged him and everything. We'll go back and forth, and he's incredible. I'd say, Clint, if you ever listen to any of my shows, you're an incredibly positive chap. Everything was met with like, yeah, it's amazing. Oh, good, yeah. I'm like, wow, this guy's like on it. Yeah, it was just really not me or Dan. And I'm like, gee, calm down, please calm down. So it was squat debate. Parallel versus arse to grass. Which is superior and why?
Wrong straight away. 90-degree eccentric isometric.
Oh, of course. So 90-degree eccentric.
It's wrong straight away, mate. Do you know what I mean?
are with some sort of barbell that's hurting your fucking elbow creases.
Doing some sort of unnecessary hold with another part of your body as well.
Yeah, and a slider and band happening somewhere, and a kettlebell hanging off you at some point. Anyway, so is arse to grass even needed for full activation? All right. It got quite a few, obviously, 35 answers, I believe it says on Facebook now, not comments, it says answers.
Yeah, if you put a question mark at the end of what you put, it's a question.
Yeah. Shocking. So there's a lot of I kind of agree with the above. Then a chap called Ben kind of outlined the force velocity curve, which is not the force eccentric and concentric curve. So force velocity, yeah, to isometric. I was like, that's probably a good thing to talk about. So, and I was like, yeah, we can branch out on that. I'm talking about that way. Maybe you probably don't need to go to the bottom if you're looking for a velocity of lift on a certain amount of forces, especially with the eccentric phase. So get a little nugget for you. Eccentric phase lifting, you can probably lift 1.7 times your 1 RM. Just have a little perspective of that. Okay. So you should be able to, if you can only 1 RM squat, Daniel, your 20 kilo barbell, you should be able to get what would be 0.7 of that up there. Bit quick math, 34. You should be able to do 34 kilos just by placing it down. I think better maths is probably 100 kilo back squat. You should, in theory, be able to just eccentrically go down with a 170 kilo back squat. People will be like, fuck off. I wouldn't advise it. That's what the research says. I would probably go maybe do a 120. Maybe do that and just slowly go down with it. And then isometrically, you can hold something like 1.3 or something like that. So, which is understandable. You can just hold something instead of the concentric phase, right? Because what our actual 1 RM is your concentric phase. All right, we're off on a tangent, Daniel. But the question was, what is better, parallel or arse to grass? And this is just an annoying thing. So what is better, what is superior, and why? So kind of there's a lot of I only squat to parallel, or I only let my clients squat to parallel. And I was like, why? Why do you only let them squat to there? I was like, that must be really annoying. You're just standing there going, wait a minute, stop, no further, get back up. Like, I'm sorry, what?
Get
why?
the camera out, making sure it's exactly that. Yeah, parallel.
Let's get my 90 degree, get the old shoulder seam out. He doesn't even go parallel.
Nope.
I think
unless his compass out, he does.
Unless you are powerlifting, and powerlifting actually has a dictation where the femur has to be pointing down, so your hip is lower than your knee. So that's actual thing in the rules for it to be a clean lift. Guess what? So my answer was whatever your client has accessible. It's always relative to them, just like your fat loss thing. What is relative to them for their fat loss? It's always a boring answer. It's like whatever the client has accessible. If they are able to squat arse to grass under load, then let them. If they are unable due to mechanical things, chances are they don't know how, then don't. Whatever's accessible on that day, and there might be different depths for each day. And guess what? Under more load, there is more intensity. Therefore, people will not squat as deep as possible. And then they were talking about obviously the bounce out of the bottom of a squat, which is that stretch reflex. And then there was a lot of butt wink chat. And both me and Dan what's your take there, Dan? Butt winks?
No one's ever got injured.
No one's the biomechanics. Morons say it's hamstrings, not hamstrings. It's your pelvic tilting going around, so your anteriorly and posteriorly pelvic tilt, don't you? So you go and dip into what would be a posterior pelvic tilt, and guess what? Nothing happens.
No.
Nothing's going to happen.
Your spine isn't some rigid steel fucking scaffolding pole that can't move.
No.
It's just not loaded in the same way. Like when people talk about deadlifts and rounded deadlifts and stuff, you see people doing rounded deadlifts all the time. They don't get injured necessarily doing that exact deadlift like time and time again. Some people just do it. I think it just gets blown well out of proportion. But just on that as well, the other thing is we've talked about this before coming on about we just don't really back squat many of our clients. Like a very low percentage of my clients back squat, very low, and usually it's people that have worked with me for a long period of time, or they specifically asked for it, and I know that they can probably do it. Is that if you can get better range doing a Bulgarian squat, or doing a standard split squat, or doing a front squat or a goblet squat, why are you back squatting someone? Why? Like if you can get better range in those other movements, that whole argument about ass to grass or parallel is a moot discussion. Doesn't really make a difference, because Tom's right. Yeah, you're going to use their accessible range, right? But if their accessible range is better on a different movement, use the other movement. Like it makes no sense. And I think this is where in PT it's like everyone just goes to a barbell. Same with bench press, same thing. It's like the amount of people who are better off bench pressing with a dumbbell because they're actually going to have much better shoulders for it than the bench. But what do you bench, bro? Well, why does that matter? Like I do dumbbells 30s or something like that. Yeah, but what do you bench on like the bench press? I'm like, well, it doesn't make a difference. Like what I bench on the bench press. But that's what people think. Same with squatting, same with deadlifting. It's all these things. And like I just find it baffling. I just think it's like if you can. So with deadlifts, for example, right? I think for me, when I program them, I'm thinking glutes, hamstrings predominantly. That's kind of what I want out of them. I know if I do a single leg RDL, I'm going to get much more glutes and hamstrings from doing a single RDL than doing a normal deadlift off the floor. The risk to reward ratio is much higher. There's far less chance of any injury, right? And overall, a client is going to benefit more from doing that movement than trying to do a deadlift and maybe getting it wrong. And I think that's the whole thing with this is it's like that question to me, I would say, why are you back squatting them? That's the first thing. Why are you back squatting? Yeah. They want to get bigger legs. Okay. So why don't you look at the Bulgarian squat and leg press instead, for example? Like straight away, it's I know it's answering a question with a question, but the whole back squat argument, I just find it painful.
It's just the obviously the golden lifts that people are stuck by all the time, and you're like, yeah, great, but
they're not even that good though. They're not even that good for all that stuff.
That's the thing, yeah.
For hypertrophy,
we now know it's not fantastic.
Bodybuilders don't use that sort of stuff for hypertrophy, for example. They don't. Like they use machines because they know that they can get a much better connection.
Even on that spectrum, like also sports athletes, people that I hang around with, essentially, we don't use that stuff. We don't back squat people. We split squat them more than anything else, and we will use a safety bar because we're like, all right, we don't want the added shoulder issue that could happen with a back squat. People don't really realize actually you need to be able to get. There's so much people are like, oh, this wide thing. No wonder. Yeah, you can't even gauge your lats. Pump that forward. So you bring your chest and rib cage up.
I just find it weird that it's such a golden lift.
All right, why is that golden
lift?
Just because we want to be powerlifters. Hang on a minute. When did everybody want to be powerlifters? I certainly went through that phase, but I was quickly out of it. I did my meet. I was like, I'm training for a few powerlifters. And I was like, hang on a minute. What most looks like running and stuff like that, split squatting. All right, probably good for people, isn't it? You can lift pretty heavy on it as well. And it's safe because I was just like, the one thing, split squatting with barbells as well, and a barbell position, that's just crap. Like, just get 2 dumbbells. I don't really understand. Like, yeah, you can probably push more load. But I'm guaranteed 2 fucking heavy dumbbells are going to see the same bloody intensity. It's all going to be, again, relative to intensity on that person. So it's an interesting one. It's just like, yeah, why are you back squatting? Also, ass to grass, I just went in. I was like, to be honest, mate, I was like, I don't really squat anybody posteriorly anyway. Probably the loading is most likely going to be in a suitcase or it's going to be anterior load because I don't want to have this question that you asked, which is, what is better, ass to grass or thing? I'm going to give them more range than they thought they had. Basically, because we know that we can squat deeper with an anterior load. And I get a load of core stuff going on. I was like, and I get this upright, rigid position is what we need to create for sprinting technique and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, suddenly the relay's massive. Why do I want to crunch up doing this back squatty thing and risk? So, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? So just the transfer is better. Just... Yeah, shouldn't be a question. Shouldn't be a question. Ask the grass or thing, whatever your client has accessible that day. That is it. Dependent on exercise. Simple as that. All right. Last thing, Daniel, because we're going to vaguely talk about this. So Alec, the lovely salesman at PTC, sent me a little thing about the IOPN, the International the Performance Nutrition thing. Dr. Lauren Bannock's running another diploma, and he named it something else. Used to be the ISSN. Dan didn't finish it because he's a bad boy. Basically,
really affected my career, that as well.
So we're completely biased. Okay, completely biased about what we're about to say, because we both worked in professional sport, we both interned in professional sport, we both had real jobs in professional sport, and we're both not in professional sport anymore. So what we'd like to just justify, because obviously this question I had from Alec was like, have you heard of these guys? Do you think it's a recommended nutrition course? Bear in mind, I don't know about nutrition. I know who Laurent Bannock is because he taught at the same university I went to. I did nutrition in my third year, my bachelor's degree. You wouldn't be able to tell because I'm just down in protein bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So absolutely fine. But yeah, I was like, is this going to be good for somebody? Basically, that diploma, I said to him, was like, if he wants to work for a governing body, a extremely high-end sports team, more likely like the BOA, the British Olympic Association, that kind of thing, Sport England, maybe, then yes. I was like, if you want to work with the top 0.1% of the population, then do it. If you don't think that's your demographic, so the other 99.9% who are probably going to pay you more money, then I wouldn't bother, because the prerequisite is bachelor's degree, and then you have to pay $3,000 for the course and study for a year. So I was like, yeah, you might not have to do it as well. And if I'm truly honest, if he wants to, and he was like, oh yeah, he wants to work with elite sport. I was like, then crack on. If he wants to do it, he wants to do it. I mean, and he meets the pre and the entry requirements, then go do it. I'm sure it's incredibly good. And I would recommend the sports person to probably go to somebody who's got that kind of knowledge base. Be amazing. But also, I'm going to guarantee that people and sports people in elite sport are probably working with people without those higher degrees, etc. I know they are. So yeah, Daniel, what is our basically pro sport or Gen Pop? What do you want to choose?
I mean, yeah, like you say, we're very biased, but 100% Gen Pop. Like, it's just a complete waste of time. Elite sport for me was we talk. Do I regret it? I don't regret it, but I think that's a bit strong. But it was a waste of time, and I wish someone, if someone was in my position now and had met me when I was 20, I wish they'd have convinced me and told me and been like, look, don't do it. Like, don't waste your time. Even to the point where really I did a master's degree just to get into football. So I wasted all that money, wasted all that time. Don't really learn much from it. To be now in a position where, you know, it's you help far more people, get paid far better for it. Bearing in mind, when I was at Hull, I was the first team sports scientist, responsible for a lot of the data, a lot of the overarching, I suppose, periodization of things, training, reporting to manager, all this sort of stuff. I was on like $22,000 a year, and people thinking, and I know there were players there who were ostracized from the team and they didn't want to keep in the team anymore on more than that, playing with the reserves, like a week. They were only more than that, a week. And I'm like, you're just not valued. You're not in any way looked after. You do stupid hours. The players don't really listen to you that much. A small percentage do, but they're the ones that would probably seek out their own trainer anyway because they're switched on. And it's all the politics for all that as well. It's like, I'm sure you get that in all walks of life, in all sort of working environments. But yeah, for me, that was the thing. I was just like, there's just no need for it. And the second, I think within 6 months of being in PT with General Pop, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what to do. If I maybe we should probably do a whole podcast on it. What I would tell my younger self, and maybe try and get some people who are looking to that and looking at what they want to do. But I don't regret going to uni. I loved uni. I loved my friends and the socializing element to it. But I can't help but think again, like now with how much it costs. If it's going to cost you 27 grand to go to uni, and you want to go into fitness world and industry, take that 27 grand and spend it on people who are where you want to be. Don't go to uni. That'll be my advice. Like, don't go. It's I just think that whole system now is. But I think we were the last generation to really see any benefit from it. I think it's broke the whole system. For that, this is again going off another tangent, but
yeah, I think especially in our sector, yeah, I say the health and fitness sector, it does. I feel like you've got time to maybe do that later on. Maybe if as we start to have more free time and maybe a little bit more successful and whatever, we could probably, in theory, study part-time now, really, if we really thought about it. And both me and Dan have also said that, so both of us got master's degrees. We've talked about both going back and doing a PhD or another master's degree at some point. I still have that in my head. But then I'm like, what am I doing it for? I don't really know. Is it like self-recognition? Is it just because I want to have the same status as my sister, kind of? Basically, I think a vet is still classed as a doctor, which is really annoying. So I need to go get my PhD to be classed the same. So that's just competitive. But is it gonna? It's probably not going to earn me any money. It's probably going to lose me money in terms of this time I could have spent doing that and probably have spent on business or course creation, marketing, all that kind of other stuff. So just for, I worked for Brentford Football Club, and also within, I don't know, Dan, you might have done this when you did your masters or your bachelors, for example. I interned and did projects for certain places as well. So I worked with the Lawn Tennis Association for a bit, for like a month and a half, on doing some performance analysis, biomechanical analysis. Obviously, I worked for Brentford for 2 years, so did interning and then full-time-ish, because I was doing some other stuff as well. And also, what do we do? Kayaking, British Olympic Association, kayaking. Obviously, because that was local, and we did some athletic stuff. That was fun. That was because I got more of a keen interest. But just to bear in mind, when I was interning, I was paid £40 a match. Physically, only the time that the match was going on was I paid. And that was 40 quid. So you're like, oh, that's great for 90 minutes work. Yeah. Okay. So I have to get there at least 2 hours before, set up, warm up, depending on what I was doing. So performance analysis, like match analysis, I was doing a bit of that for Brentford, as well as S&C. So they kind of I think they liked me because I could be in both departments a little bit, because I had my bachelor's degree in S&C and my master's degree, I was doing biomech and PA. So they're like, oh, you can do that bit today and then that bit tomorrow. And I was like, fucking hell. Basically, I've just had 2 jobs for myself now, which is probably not a good thing. And what killed it for me, it was just like, right, you're getting paid £40 for that match, that you got to go there, set up the cameras, do all that kind of jazz, do that. And then guess what? You have to code the games. So for obviously academy level and on like reserve level under 23s, you don't have something that is probably what is quite frequent now in all of those levels. I'm pretty sure Brentford have it in their new stadium, something called Prozone. It's something that codes the game for you. And also you don't really know what the mistakes are. So all those stats that you get from the TVs, usually a company called Prozone is using their, probably, you might have seen it with their GPS data. I don't know whether they kind of...
Yeah, they started to do it, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So you got like about 17 to 20 different cameras hooked up in the stadium that are looking on the pitch, and you basically send it off for them to code the game. And coding the game means they divide it into different sections and blah, blah, blah. But that would take me between 5 and 8 hours to code a game. Bear in mind, I paid 40 quid to just do the game, and then I've got that for possibly 5 to 8 hours to code and then present for free. And then having like a manager, especially the under 18s manager, going, oh, can we like away day Cardiff? Like, I'm not getting paid any more for the away day. Like they just give me a hotel room, great. And then that's all day, all night. And then you come back. So I hated it. I was so done. Like, even though
I think I worked out my hourly rate when I was full time, and it was like £7.50 an hour. It was, and it's just and you still took your homework with you. Took your homework with you. Fuck took work home with you. It's late, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was hard. Like, and I remember at the time I had a missus who lived ages away, so I was doing a lot of driving at weekends and stuff like that. And it's really not all it's made out to be. I think that's the thing. Is like it's.
I think,
and I know people as well who are like high up in it, and it's just so much bootlicking to get there, and it's just like really. I
think you really have to do it for the pride of everything, and you really wanting to be in that sport and working with elite sport. But as we've said on this show before, and it's definitely starting to crop up even more and even more and even more. In the NFL, it's starting to, especially in America, it happens already, right? So you've got places like Boyle, Mike Robertson, Bobby Ritt, and all those guys who literally set up like crazy. They take these athletes and they train them still, but they're also training to jump up. They have best of both worlds. And there's also people over here like Robbie Strength Coach and James Ralph and stuff like that who's starting to make James Moore, and who's the other lad? We should invite him on at some point. The guy who does AJ. And he's also on tour with Perez. He does a lot of F1, but he's an S&C coach. But
Rob Madden,
he's also
is it? Rob Madden?
Madden, thank you, Rob Madden. Yeah. But they've found their niche of like, all right, they've managed to dial into those. They're not associated with any kind of governing body or sports team, whatever. They're just like they're their own thing. But they started off doing general population. Rob Madden does a physiotherapy, yeah. He does everyday physio, and then he'll travel with Sergio Perez, and he's his S&C coach. So there are facilities to do that, but they've also gone further in their career from doing a physiotherapy degree, S&C, CSCS, that kind of thing.
I think with it as well, I even had like the I suppose the ecstasy of being promoted to the Premier League. Like I remember it. I remember being at the stadium. I remember the day we won. I remember the celebrations that day. I remember the weeks after that, and Steve Bruce taking us out for dinner and taking us to his house and all that. I remember it all.
Really?
And it was great, but it still didn't. Yeah, it still didn't like help, because you still knew you were being treated like shit the majority of the time. And I think that's where if you've got the best of both worlds, where you help out a bit and you have a part to play in that, you get the success from it. Like don't get me wrong, like, I would love to help, athletes with their nutrition on a one-to-one basis, like I do with my current clients. I'd love to be able to go to a game and watch them play and know you had a hand in some of their things they do. I know a few people do like boxers and stuff, which again is a bit more one-to-one. So that is, you literally have a direct influence. So that's cool. And, but I don't for 1 second trade that for wouldn't trade working in football now for what I have now, because don't forget as well, we used to work Christmas Day, we used to work all over the summer. We didn't have any holidays. You can't take a holiday like in football. You have your 2 weeks off over the summer, 3 weeks off. That's it. You get called in randomly all times of the week and the year. Yeah. You don't have days off. You don't have like every day, every Sunday. You can't plan every Sunday to do something nice, because some Sundays you're training. It's just random days off you get given off, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is
in football, like was it last weekend? Jose Mourinho was just like straight after like the West Ham game or something like that. He just took all of the players straight after the game. It was like 5 p.m. He took them all back to Tottenham and was like, "We're going to review the game right now." Yeah.
So we did that. We had a game. We had a game once.
Think about those poor coaches. They have to go. They have to go with.
We had a game. We had a game once. We lost 4-1. We got beaten 4-1 when we were Hull. This was the year we got promoted 4-1. I'll never forget it. And we were all sat in the staff rooms. Basically, we had two changing rooms. The players one and the staff one. And he'd gone in. So the manager goes in with like the assistant manager and the coach, and that's kind of it. Physios, a little bit like that. And then there's like the analysis team, sports science, whatever. They're kind of just waiting in that staff room. And you could hear him shouting at the players, and he was just like, "You're all fucking shit. You're wasting fucking time. You're in tomorrow, training tomorrow, first thing 10 o'clock." And you just saw the physios come out and just went, fuck it. This was a Saturday night, 5 p.m. We just finished the game. Sunday, all of us have made plans because we're supposed to have a day off. So you do always make plans because you're 1 day off a week. Change them all. You had to change them all. Had to change. And everyone, bearing in mind, when you're working at Hull, no offense to Hull, no players move to live there because it's shithole. Everyone lives far away. Everyone lives in Leeds, Manchester, Nottingham, whatever it was. So I was going to travel down to London that weekend. And to have your life dictated to you because of one result or whatever, and of course you don't care if you're the manager and you're paid millions a year. You don't give a shit. Of course you can do whatever you want. If you know you've not made any plans the next day, you can do it. Guarantee you now, if Steve Bruce had plans that day, we wouldn't have fucking been training on Sunday. You know, it's that whole thing of like, and that's the thing that did it for me it's just that whole element of it. Where again, Jose Mourinho can do that because he's Jose Mourinho and he gets paid what he gets paid, and the players get paid what they get paid. They can't argue. It's the support staff that aren't on that money. They're the ones, because I know I've been in that position. They feel sorry for. Yeah, I think that's the thing people don't talk about. People don't talk about. They talk about, oh yeah, work with these elite level athletes. It's like, yeah, it's good, but once you realise they're just normal blokes and they're just normal people at football clubs, it's like, okay, great.
And I think if anybody really wants to go in that route, like, learn your trade, kind of doing Gen Pop, and then start to just create your niche, whatever you want to work
I would say learn your trade with Gen Pop, but I would also realize how much money you can earn with Gen Pop, because I know it's not a big driver for everyone, but if you can earn comfortably doing a few hours a week doing Gen Pop stuff, 30k a year, and you go into football and you get offered 20 to do that, think about it. As
a thing, like being brutally truthful, that's exactly what happened with me. And I was doing some like other stuff, biomechanic, for another company, and then Martin Evans, bless him heart, like got a hold of me, and when I was just talking through some like foot biomechanics with old Carl Wilson and Gareth, and he was like, "What do you do now?" And I was like, "I'm working for," in his Welsh accent. He's like, "What do you do now?" I was like, "I'm working for Brentford." He's like, "How much do you get paid?" And I was like, "This is weird for this random man to be asking him." He was like, "Yeah. Well, you probably earned 40k in your first year here." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you got, a master's degree? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. You're easy. What are you on, 20k now? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. Do you want a job? Come in for an interview next week. And I was like, okay. Of course. That's the thing. I never thought I'd be working with Gen Pop. I was that guy coming out of uni going, because I went to the British Olympic Association. I was doing my UKCA. I was doing this. I was like, I'm going to work in elite sport. And then my job applications, I went for like Lucasade. I went GlaxoSmithKline. I had, bearing in mind, I'd even worked with them, the kayaking, the British Olympic Association, badminton. I had all this, no experience, not good enough, this crap. Then I was like at Brentford, I still had to do like an hour like presentation for this job that I got paid nothing for, essentially.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember I gave up my 3 summers at university to go and intern for free at Reading. I used to intern all summer for free. I gave up my 3 summers at uni.
Reading were the worst.
I was that guy.
They were the worst. They got actually dicked on about 5 to 8 years ago, didn't they? Because they were
HMRC.
The worst
I had a letter.
People. Yeah.
I had a letter from HMRC, and it was literally about an investigation into both Reading and Hull as well. Hull was the same. Got investigated for using interns for basically their money, and I never got anything from it. Yeah. But and I was that guy as well. I was like, before I even went to uni, I was like, the first year at uni, I sat down with that tutor. What do you want to do? I want to do this. I want to be this. I want to be that. Most of my mates were like, I just want to come and get pissed, mate. What are you on about? And I knew what I wanted to do, and it's funny looking back, you know. I think that drive is got me to where I am now, maybe, but it's been good. But it's it does make you realise quickly, like it's just a different world, and it's not what the one you think it is. That's the problem. But anyway,
yeah,
I feel like this is another hour and 20-minute special.
That's all right. All right, we'll wind down now. Any other business?
No, not from me.
Wonderful. Just filming for the next few days, which is lovely. Yeah, I get to spend another couple of days with old Gordon.
Well, there are worse people to spend time with, I suppose. He's not all bad, is he?
Are there?
Yeah, maybe not.
He's Scottish.
Joel Seedman. Joel Seedman.
Joel Seedman, yeah. Jesus. Yeah. My God. Anyway, watch out. I don't know. If you haven't signed up for the collective, go do that, I guess. Yeah. If that's the case. I guess we'll talk about something else. We'll go into one of those depth. We'll bring somebody on that's worked in pro sport and have a little roundtable talk as well. Because I'm sure there's probably somebody who's still in it we could probably bring on and be like, it's great, Daniel. And we're like, no, son. Trust me. Son.
It's not. Reach out to Rob Madden, he might come on. Rob might come on.
He's a nice little chap, isn't he? Yeah. So good lad. Also, he's old private on Instagram, so you probably can't get on there. Yeah, I think he's not big on the Insta stuff, is he? So nice chap, but he knows both of us, doesn't he? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think we've got to bring one of the Biceps and Banter crew on, if we're really honest.
Oh, waste of time with them lot, mate. Waste of time. Clueless.
We've heard of Mike. We've got to bring one of the others on. I guess Jojo needs to come on at some point, and Jimmy, I believe.
Just talk forever, mate. Joe would just talk forever.
I mean, that's the idea.
Get to shut up.
Podcast, good for an audio show. So
it would be good, to be fair, for an audio show.
You can shut up for a little bit. Perfect, mate. All right, no business from me, and we'll catch you next week.
See you later.